I'm like, you know what? You know what it takes to sell real estate? You need to be a little bit insane. Te tiene que faltar una tuerca.
Already mentioned you've been in real estate for how many years now?
For 20 years.
20 years now. What made you get started 20 years ago?
What me?
Yeah, like why real estate in other
Yeah,
words?
so I have a cousin. I have a cousin that he started doing real estate while I was going to college here in TAMU.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I saw that he bought the first, remember when the flat TV screens came out?
Yeah, yeah.
He bought the first one. I was like, wow, I want to have one of those. So then he bought a house in Winfield and he was doing good, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I told him, what do you do? He's like, I'm in real estate. I'm like, I want to do that too. So when I graduated from TAMU, I left to Dallas. I was working in IBC at the time as well. So I left to Dallas and at 5 p.m., I wanted to do something else. You know, I've always been very hyper, very ADHD. So I couldn't just stay still and I wasn't happy just with my job. You know, I knew I wanted to do something else. So I would go to the Barnes and Noble over there in Dallas, in Northwest Highway. I still remember, and I would always remember the books, the whatever for dummies.
Yes.
I would always start researching how to sell cars on eBay for dummies, how to sell insurance for dummies, and then I got the book that said something about real estate, how to get into real estate for dummies. So I read the book, I started liking it, and then I at the bank that I worked at the time. There was a loan officer told me business is booming right now. That was before the recession of 2008. So he told me, once you get licensed, I'm gonna be feeding you business. I said, okay. So I got licensed, and in 2004, and that's how I started.
Wow, man. Well, what do you think is I mean, this guy, he was kind of like your mentor in a way because he kind of put you into the business. Would you consider him a mentor?
No, because I never heard of him again. You know,
So he
that
just,
was yeah, that was the funny part. I never heard of him again. But then I started doing my research. I interviewed with different brokerages and found one called Ultima Real Estate
mm-hmm.
in Dallas. They had like 400 agents over there, and that's where I started. That's where I
Wow.
started. Yeah.
What was the hardest part about getting started, man?
Back in the day, we didn't have social media. We didn't have Facebook. It was only it was only agent phone call line one. We'll all run to the little boxes that we had there, the
Wow.
phones, and we would just get the call, and that was a lead. Once we got the call, we would just hit the streets to go show. So that was a challenging part because we didn't have a lot of tools that nowadays agents have. You
Mm.
know, the industry has changed a lot for the good and for the bad. You know, I do miss the old days, but I think right now we have a lot of advantages. So yeah, back in the day, my challenge was that was my challenge. I was in a new city. I didn't know anyone over there. Didn't have family. Didn't have friends. So I started building my business. I started building my database with people that I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
customers that I didn't know. They started to know me, like me, and then trust me. And that's how I built friendships
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's it's super important. I mean, like you said, it's getting them to know, getting out there, getting them to know you, trust you, so that they can make that big purchase. Because I mean, real estate, it's not just like you're not buying hamburgers. It's a big
Exactly.
responsibility.
We always say in coaching, I always say to my agents in coaching, people need to know you first. You know, if you don't post, if you're not out there, if you don't network, if you're not out there, putting yourself out there, people will never know you. First, they need to know you. After they know you, need to like you. Maybe people are looking at this video right now. They're like, I know that guy, but I don't like him. That's fine. That's okay. However, um, people need to know you, then like you. Once they like you, they'll work with you. But you need to get them to trust you. That's the hard part, to get them to trust you,
Yeah,
because it's a big investment. You know, people are going to open themselves, their financials, their lives. So they also need to trust you. And many of the times you get the trust towards the end after they bought. But that's a good thing because post closing, we still maintain relationships with our clients, you know,
yeah,
because we're always in contact with them. We hit them for business. So that's basically the way,
that's
you
awesome.
know.
And early on, I mean, I know I can speak for myself. Early on, there's a lot of influencers. Maybe not the way they are now, but I mean, things that made you get influence on how you do business, right? Or maybe you had a mentor. Did you have anything like that?
Yeah, I had a mentor in Dallas, when I joined Ultima Real Estate, I joined the team. I joined the team.
Okay.
His name is Jose and Laura Lopez. Hopefully, they're looking at this video. That way, they can know that I still think about them and I acknowledge them. Yeah, they were my mentors, and they taught me everything that I needed to know in real estate.
That's amazing.
Yeah, very good people. They're still in real estate right now. They've always been thriving, and yeah, I consider them my mentors.
That's awesome. So you launched That My Real Estate in 2013, and then somewhere along the line you said, you know what, people don't really care about me. It's more about the brand and more about the what the brand means, right? So then you launched uh, Luxe Real Estate,
Exactly. Yes.
right?
So I started when I became a broker. I'm like, I want to see the letterman name on the signs. You know, it was all about me, 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 me. I loved it. You know, I started with one agents. We took it all the way to 27. Letterman Real Estate all the way to 27 agents. And then I realized, you know, it's not about me. I wanna take this network statewide, maybe nationwide.
Right.
So at the end, people don't care about Lerma. People care about the brand, and more about the brand is what it stands for. You know,
Right.
that's why I decided to switch it. Like, you know, it's not about me. Let me just brainstorm and think about what I really want for my business, what I really want for my clients, what I really want for my agents. So we came up with this name.
That's awesome, and it's a good name. I remember when I first saw it, when I first met you, I saw the name and I was like, yeah, I've seen the name around before. I had already seen it, and then I was looking at it, and then I know you approached us about rebranding and stuff, but I guess what made you want to rebrand everything? I mean, because you already had the name, but
Yeah,
I guess there was a little what's what I'm looking for misconception about the logo and how to position it and stuff like that, right? So what
the
made you want to
the
change?
name came around 2021. I changed the name while I was a team inside of Keller Williams, the Keller Williams office. Um, so we just did a logo on Canva or on Fiverr. I don't remember. We just designed a logo without even thinking about all the fundamentals that come behind the logo, which is what you guys helped me with. Uh, so we just started like that. We just did a logo. At the beginning, we wanted to say that we were a team that focused on only selling only luxury homes, you know. But to be honest, it's impossible to sell only luxury homes, especially in this market. There's not enough buyers on that. So we cannot sustain a business focusing on only high-end properties, you know. So we decided. I thought, you know what? Maybe why don't we brand? Why don't we dig into the philosophy of we provide luxury service to people, to clients, whether they're buying a $2 million house or whether they're buying $100,000 house. You know, we want to treat everybody the same. We want to give the clients the same customer service, the same experience. We talk about the Lux experience as well.
And
That's what
that,
we want everybody to have.
and that's a very good way of looking at it because, like I said, that there are people that when you're going through that process,
Yeah.
that you see how you're dressed or however you're approached, and right away they put you in a box and it's like, oh, okay, these guys, he's not gonna, he can't afford it, he can't do it, and that's not what you guys do. You pretty much go into it like saying, like you said, this is the Lux brand. You're gonna get the Lux experience.
You're gonna get the Lux experience as a client and also as an agent. You're also gonna get a Lux experience as far as the mentoring, the coaching that we provide, and retention. You know, we have very good retention because the value is there.
Yeah,
You know.
and you mentioned that before to me that you guys you have your office here, beautiful office by the way. This office is mostly used for you guys, basically to meet clients, and then you mentioned that what stood out to me right now was trainings.
Yes.
The trainings. How often do you guys have those type of trainings, and why are they necessary for you
Every
guys?
week, every Monday at 9, I have a meeting with my team, and we're always talking about how to improve our business. I always talk about a topic on how to challenge them through the week to do something that they haven't done. We always have like little challenges between us. We keep a scoreboard. It's just internal. We don't make it public. You know, it's at the end. It's only us. We want to make sure that we all know where we are, where we stand, and there's a lot of friendly competition. You
Yeah,
know,
friendly
I have
competition.
number two wants to be number one, number three wants to be number two, number 10 wants to be number five, and I'm always posting that chart, that scoreboard every Wednesday, and my agents love it. And nobody, no, we don't need to put it on Facebook or anything. It's just internal. That's what we have going on. So I challenge the agents, I mentor them, I coach them, and of course, I'm always there for them. They even call me at 11 p.m. and I'm always there for them.
Yeah, of
There's no other
course.
way to say it.
Yeah, no, of course. And I mean, when you're leading it's not only just it's not only important for you just to build a business, but also to provide leadership and the tools for that, your team to grow. If not, like you said, they're not going to retain you very long.
You know what? I'm also a producing agent. I say, you know what? It's like if we're an army and we're at war, I want to be in the front. I want to be in the front lines.
Lead from the front.
I'm
Lead
always
from the
I'm always
front.
producing. I'm always selling. I'm always on the run. And I tell them, hey, I think if I was to work in a real estate company, I would like my broker to be the top producer, to be the one that produces the most. Because at the end, nobody will understand the agent more than the broker, and of course, if it's a producing broker, we know what goes on in the daily, in the transactions, better than anybody else.
Yeah. I was watching your socials the other day, and something that made me laugh because I was kind of preparing for this meeting, and I said, okay, I got to make sure I know a little bit about what I'm gonna get into, what kind of questions we're
Yeah.
gonna ask. And then one of the questions I had wrote before I even got into your socials, I was like, oh, this is good. And then I saw this thing that you posted, and it just made me laugh. I was like, man, this just blew my question out of the way, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. The post was pretty much, I don't need a motivational quote, just get me coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So my question was literally going to be like, what motivational quote do you have that gets you through? There has to be like one or two go-tos that you always go to all the time, right? Whatever it may be.
So I'm a firm believer that motivation just disappears. It's not about it's. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I went to a house and I was showing a house and I saw that little cuadrito that said that.
Uh huh.
I just liked it. And I did a quick video of the property. But I've always been a firm believer that motivation ends. Some agents tell me, Julio, motivate me. I'm like, I'm not gonna motivate you because if you're not able to have discipline and motivate yourself, you're
Exactly.
not gonna make it. There's people that come like, Julio, I don't know if I should sell real estate. I don't know if I should get licensed. Can you pay for my classes? I'm like, I think that's a filter. If you're not able to motivate on your own, if you need me to motivate you, and if you can't come up with $1,000 to pay for your classes, then you're not gonna make it in real estate. You're not gonna make it because we go through a lot of crap, man. We go through a lot of stuff. We go through a lot of crap. We go through a lot of like
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
not
just
saying
showing
I'm not saying
houses.
like clients slap us. I'm saying we go through. I was talking to I was talking to a friend, Eric. I'm like, you know what? You know what it takes to sell real estate? You need to be a little bit insane. You need to te tiene que faltar una tuerca to
Mm-hmm.
be able to excel in real estate because you go through a lot of crap. You go through 10 clients, 10 transactions that probably won't buy. You're gonna go show 20 properties of somebody that will never buy. You're gonna show 20 properties somebody that will buy, and at the end of the deal's gonna falls through because of whatever. You need to be a little bit insane to be in sales in real estate.
Yeah, and I say the same thing for anybody who's starting a business. You need to be a little. You got to be a glutton for
And
punishment.
maybe insane is not the word,
Right,
but
right.
you need to have something in your brain that says, I don't care, I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
And many people give up because they're like, it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna get a client, I expect to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go show a house, I expect to get paid. We run around all day not knowing if you're gonna get paid. Imagine if you had an employee and you tell him, you know what, you're gonna work for us. I don't know if you're gonna get paid, but I want you to work hard. I want you to stay motivated. I want you to show up.
Yeah.
I want you to do a smile. Be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to be happy, but I don't know if I'm gonna pay you. They're gonna be like, hell no, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Realtors, we do that.
yeah, it's like you said. I mean, I believe that, yeah, motivation is important, but more importantly, like you said earlier, discipline. If you have that discipline to stay
Rick,
motivated and
Rick, I've seen
keep
people
pushing.
with zero talent selling real estate, and they
Mm-hmm.
sell a lot. Why? Because they're always doing it. They're constantly with a discipline of doing what realtors need to do to excel.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's 90%. ¿Cómo era? It's 10%. No me acuerdo si era like 10% skill, 90% consistency or something like that.
Yeah, effort.
As long as you're consistent and you don't give up, you're gonna do good.
Yeah, and I think that's true with a lot of stuff. Speaking on being an entrepreneur and being in real estate, glutton for punishment. How do you balance? Is there any balance for you? People always ask me like, "Oh, you're always working," and I'm like, "Well, it's just I like what I do, so to me that
Yeah,
this is the balance." What about you? Do you have any type of work life balance that you?
I do. Yes, I have 4 kids. I have a mom that I take care of that has Alzheimer's. My siblings, and then I love to do sports. I like going to the gym and I like to play tennis. That's my balance, and I work. You're never gonna see me doing anything else because that's all I like to do. And it's like you say, it's like, oh, you're always working. Well, I'm always working because I like what I do. So it doesn't even feel like
Exactly.
work. It's exciting. And for me, it's always exciting to go out there and you don't even know what's gonna happen. We dress, not even knowing who we're gonna meet. I always tell people that join real estate. Are you willing to meet? Would you be willing to meet 10 people a day, new people a day? Oh yeah, I don't have a problem. Then welcome to real estate. Oh no, I'm very shy. I don't like to do videos. I don't like to meet people. I'll just do a post, and then I'm very good on a one-on-one. You're not gonna do good in real estate. You know,
Yeah.
um, you need to be willing to go through a lot of crap. You need to be willing to meet a lot of people, and you need to be willing to not have analysis paralysis. Many people get paralyzed because, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it. Until I learn it, I'll go out there and sell. But people need to understand, realtors need to understand that the only way of learning is by going out there and minimizing the mistakes through good coaching and mentoring,
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't have good coaching and mentoring, you can get in a lot of trouble, lawsuits and stuff.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
messing with people's money. So I
for
think that's very
sure.
important
Yeah,
to know,
it's kind of
you
like you
know?
said, like you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and getting out there, like you said, because I mean, it's
I
gonna
mean,
be a
life is painful. You're going to suffer. You're going to suffer the stress of having a lot of deals and stuff going on in your life with stress. Or you don't do anything, you don't have stress, but you suffer the pain of being broke or not having money.
yeah, yeah.
And it's not about the money, it's about the good that the money does. We always talk about our big why. What's your big why? What is that makes you wake up every morning to do what you do? It's not motivation, it's your big why. And it has to be very deep. You have to dig in deep, 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 deep.
Yeah. You started off doing switching kind of gears a little bit here.
Mhm.
You started off doing more residential, and now we're moving into commercial and Laredo. But it's not just Laredo. We're moving into different markets now.
So Laredo's industrial developments are booming. So I saw that. I saw that coming for several years now, and I said I want to tap into that market because when it became the number one inland port, I said
Go
there's an
Laredo.
opportunity. There's an opportunity, and we need to go ahead and tap into it. Yes. So yes, I started doing more commercial. I do more commercial than residential, but I still do residential, and I love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You're awesome.
Moving into the future, what's in store for Lux Realty?
Well, first, we're barely opening the office here, so I'm gonna start looking into talent to recruit. Um, but it's going to be a selection of agents that are within our culture.
Hmm.
We have a culture that I'm trying to protect, and I promised my agents that if I bring someone on board, it's gonna be someone that meets the qualifications of of being a Lux agent. And I'm not looking to just hire any agent. We're going to be very selective because we want quality. We want Lux.
Exactly.
And second, yes, we're going to be expanding to San Antonio. We're starting already with a project. We spoke about it. You're gonna help me with it too, and hopefully we can thrive over there too.
That's awesome.
Tú eres awesome.
Yeah. So I love the part that you mentioned that it's not only about discipline, training, but also you mentioned super important when operating a company is talking about the culture, about not letting anybody in because again, one bad apple can just ruin the team.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever what do you guys do here for culture? You know, how do you make sure that that culture stays intact? Because it is tough. It sounds like, oh, just I want culture,
Yeah.
but it's not just like I want culture. It's you need to have some values. You know, what type of values drive that culture?
So imagine that a culture, it's kind of like a language,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Every culture has its own language. Every culture has its own philosophy. And what I tell people is like, you're joining Lux and we help each other. We're like a family. We help each other. Somebody posts something on our chat, we have a WhatsApp chat.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asks, hey, I need this. Everybody's always willing to help. And I say the moment you guys stop helping each other, you're out of culture, you know? So the helping each other grow, um, having a little bit of accountability as well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We hold each other accountable.
Have to.
And I tell my new agents or the agents that join, I'm like, I'm sorry if I come across making you feel uncomfortable, but that's what a coach will do. I will make you feel uncomfortable. That's what LeBron James coach does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a coach is there for, to make you feel uncomfortable. And if I make you feel uncomfortable, you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to get coached by me if you don't want to. But don't come and tell me why you're not producing if you didn't follow my advice. Or if you want to produce the numbers that you told me you want to produce, well then submit to the coaching and submit to the accountability. So I'm always gonna be there every morning. Hey, what happened to your 10 phone calls? Ah, no, es que no sé, está bien. And at the end, I tell them, está bien. Like at the end, um, I always tell my agents at the end, let me look at your pipeline and your production, and I can predict what you've been doing. Because no one will work so hard, make 20 phone calls a day, go out there and network, go do all the things that you need to do to excel, and won't sell. There's no way, unless you have a conversion issue. Unless you have a conversion issue, which then we need to work in that,
The
because
process.
maybe you're good in meeting people, you're good in prospecting, you're good in getting out there, but when it gets times to sell
Or close.
or
Yeah.
close, you don't know how to do it because you're too nice and you're like, oh, but there's some agents that talk themselves out of selling. The lady's
Yeah.
like,
It
I'm ready,
happens.
I'm ready to purchase this property. Let's put an offer. And then he's like, no, wait, not think about it. Tell me tomorrow or let's wait a week. I want you to think about it. And they end up not selling. Or the client end up saying, but maybe he doesn't want to help me. They go with another agent that will sell them.
Yeah.
So if you have a closing ratio issue, I have a coaching program for that as well.
Nice.
You know,
Almost wrapping up, but how do you define thriving in your business?
you need to adapt with the trends. There's always something going on in real estate. The markets shift. So when the market shifts, agents need to shift.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there's something going on in our market. For many many years, we were in a seller's market. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, we're in a buyer's market now. So we talk about that. I talk about it with my agents. Hey, hello guys, we're in a buyer's market now. Okay, what does that mean? That means we shouldn't list properties. We shouldn't represent sellers. Yeah, represent sellers, but be realistic with the prices, because the prices are not going up anymore. As a matter of fact, they're coming a little bit down, but it's not that they're coming down. It's that they are uh, leveling to where they were supposed to be. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so it's all about just knowing what's going on out there and applying it. And change. Now we were listing properties and we had multiple offer situations. Not anymore. Right now I have 54 properties that I'm trying to sell that they're not selling. So we in the meetings we talk about it. We're like, talk to your sellers. It's not what it used to be anymore. Prices are not going up. As a matter of fact, prices are coming down. Hey, why don't you prospect for buyers? Right now, buyers have the upper hand. There's a lot of incentives that the builders are giving. There's a lot of properties that are not selling. Now you have a buyer and they have a lot of options.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm waiting for interest rates to drop. Okay, that's fine. When you know what's gonna happen when interest rates drop? The prices are gonna go up again. So right now, try to shop for a Yeah, for a good interest rate, but also you'll get specials in the market because properties are not moving. So going back to your question is, how do you thrive? You need to thrive by adapting to whatever's going on out there.
Do you have a book or a podcast that has changed the game for you?
Yes, yes, I have a book. It's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent.
Okay.
Gary Keller went out there and interviewed top agents on the nation and asked them what they do to thrive. And everyone shared gladly their secrets. And that book defines what many agents do in a single book. So
Wow,
that's a game changer, that book.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Best advice you ever received?
Best advice is don't talk too much, learn how to listen, and sometimes that's what people need. I always say that we're in the business of listening to people. I listen to people a lot, and sometimes you don't need to talk. The more you listen, at the end, the better you do, because it's not about talking to make people feel something. It's about what people feel because you listen. They'll remember you for that. I say that real estate is very jealous. If you give it your 50%, it's not gonna give you results. You need to give it your 100%, and it will reward you like 200%. You know, so if you're coming into the business, know that, and also know that mentorship and coaching is very important. You need to teach your agents how to fish. Once you do that, they'll be able to just go on their own.
Thank you again very much, man. It was great having you, or great you having us here again. Beautiful office, love
Thank
the
you.
place, and can't wait to talk to you off camera later on.
Okay.
Amen. Good
All right.
seeing you, man.